Recap. It still doesn't make sense, Cedric said, kicking a fringe of moss with his clawed hind foot. If I was to look for him, the stone would not have come to you. He studied her for another moment, then grasped 2 sticks and rubbed them together with renewed vigor. This is beyond my skill level, Miss Lily. I'm simply not wise enough to sort it out. As I see it, the only way forward is to finish the task I was given and bring you to Castle Irido. Master will know what to do. Plus, it's imperative that I report to him about the shroud in the forest. The shroud? The beast that chased us. The dark dragon with all the smoke? Color drained from Lily's face. That was called a shroud? Cedric nodded. It was horrible. Indeed, all shrouds are. This was a particularly nasty one, too. But what troubles me most is that he was in the wrong place. I've never seen one in the waking world. What did it want with my treehouse? Only what was in it. Cedric paused to fix Lily in his stare, and the hair on the back of her neck pricked up. The shrouds have escaped, Miss Lily, and more keepers like yourself are disappearing every day. I've never seen my master so vexed. He started scraping branches again. We must get to Castle Irido. What's that? Oh, you'll love it, my dear. It's one of the greatest fortresses in the realm, and the most beautiful, if you'd like my opinion. Lily's heart fluttered at his words. Yet as much as thoughts of castles tantalized her, the memory of her mother, her head in her hands, flickered through her mind. It sounds wonderful, but I really should be getting back home. My mom needs me. I'm sorry, Miss Lily, but that's out of the question. You cannot go back. At least not yet. Lily straightened in alarm. Please, Cedric, I need to get home to my mom. If I go missing, it will be more than she can take. I promise to bring you home once my master deems it safe. But when will that be? How far away is this castle? On foot? From here, several days at least. We have to trek all the way to Bold Peak, and clearly you can't fly. Cedric, I'm not kidding about this. I need to get home. My mom and my gran need me. As my family needs me, my dear. I have 3 younglings to feed at home, plus the missus, and she has 3 heads, which means triple the belly aching. Alas, war spares no one. Lily's heart skipped a beat. War? What do you mean, war? Cedric, I'm just a kid. Miss Lily, I'm not the person you think I am, Cedric. I'm 12. I won my first fight just today, and I couldn't even do that without a knight in shining armor coming to my rescue. Another thing I don't understand, by the way, last summer I blew up the microwave. I can't even figure out how to ride a bike. Miss Lily, thank you for the food, and thank you for helping me when that thing attacked us in the forest. But I need to go home. I can't bring you home, Miss Lily. But you have to. I'm in way over my head. How can I help you with the war? I'm just a kid. Not to mention, I'm probably crazy, since I'm arguing with a talking dragon. Scout. I'm a scout. Tears brimmed in Lily's eyes. I can't leave my family, Cedric, especially my mom. She's been through so much. Miss Lily, even if there wasn't a war, I couldn't take you back because your Sue Stone is here. I can travel safely into your world only if I follow a Sue Stone. Now that you and the stone are here, there's no way for me to get there. Unless, of course, I boomerang again, but that's out of the question. Why? Why is that out of the question? Because it's like launching from a catapult blindfolded. And you can see where that's gotten us the first time round. He motioned to the gnarled trees at his back and the dusky sky above. I don't care. Boomerang me back. No, that's not the way. It's far too unpredictable. You could end up in a jaguar's lair, or on the bottom of the ocean, or stranded on a glacier in the Arctic. If that means getting back to my family, I'm willing to take the risk. No. He drew closer and crouched at eye level with her. My dear girl, whether you like it or not, and whether you understand it or not, you are a dream steward, one of the keepers of the Somnium realm. I know it doesn't make sense. I don't understand it myself. But the truth is, you bear a Sue Stone. Only a steward could have harnessed the stone's power and called Lancelot into your world. Tears swam in Lily's eyes, and her face burned. Stone was my dad's, not mine. I don't even know how Lancelot appeared. It was all by accident. I don't even know what a steward is. Your realm sounds exciting, but I think you have the wrong person, Cedric. In her distress, she forgot she still held the nutshell bowl, and it toppled out of her hands. Cedric mopped up the mess on her clothes with a clod of moss. I know this is difficult, and frankly bewildering, he said, but I promise you, Miss Lily, once all is said and done, I'll do all I can to get you home. You have my word. To do that, though, I need you to trust me. He turned back to his sticks and resumed his vigorous scrape. Our best chance of getting you home is to head to Castle Iredale. There are people there much wiser than I am, and they'll know what to do. Before Lily could argue, Cedric barked in pain and jumped back. Another branch had snapped under the strain of his scraping, and a splinter had wedged into his front foot. Oh no, are you okay? Lily asked, rising to her feet as Cedric cradled his wounded limb. I'm quite all right. No point in fussing. Let me see that. I know a bit of first aid. No, thank you. That's not necessary. I'll be tip-top in a minute. Lily held out her palm and raised her eyebrows. Cedric shook his head, but when Lily's expression didn't change, he groaned, and then reluctantly showed her his foot. Oh, it's not that bad, Lily said, examining the splinter. I can get it out for you easily. Just hold still. Cedric shuddered. That's easier said than done, miss. Just try, please. She held the foot tightly and gingerly grasped an edge of the splinter between two fingers. Just take a deep breath and relax. Ready? 1, 2. Before she reached 3, Lily yanked out the sliver of wood. Cedric howled, leapt backward, and then jumped in place from one hind foot to the other, as if he were dancing on hot coals. After half a minute of such tomfoolery, he dropped to the ground and hid his head in his gloves. How mortifying, he mumbled. Lily stifled a laugh. What were you trying to do with all these sticks anyway? Why, build a fire, of course, Cedric said. It's going to get colder the longer we stay here. We shouldn't tarry long, but while we refresh ourselves, we could do with some warmth. Lily furrowed her brow. Isn't there an easier way to start a fire? Oh, I'd love suggestions if you have any. Well, couldn't you, breathe on it? I beg your pardon. Well, you're a dragon, aren't you? Cedric scowled, and the spines along his back stood up. Young lady, we have a long road ahead of us, and if you'd like it to be a pleasant one, I'd advise you never, ever call me that abominable word again. I'm sorry, Cedric. I just thought I am a scout, Miss Lily. A scout. He huffed, and steam spewed from his nostrils. I'm going to find us something to help this endeavor along. For your safety, I'd advise you not to go anywhere and talk to no one. Absolutely no one. Do you understand? But there's no one here. Who would I? He didn't wait for her to finish, but instead slashed his tail clean through a clump of weeds and then disappeared into the brush. She heard the bushes rustle, then quiet, and then the next moment Lily was alone in the twilight clearing. Lily kicked the moss and berated herself under her breath. She'd said the wrong thing, as usual. She was stranded in the ghostly forest with no idea how to get home, and with her only help a dragon whom she'd brilliantly offended. How am I going to get myself out of this one? She thought. Lily leaned against a massive tree, rested her forehead against the cool bark, and tried not to worry. Vines girdled the tree trunk, and Lily reached out a hand to touch the blossoms that dotted the vine like a string of pearls. To her dismay, at her touch, the petals fluttered to the ground, and the glowing censer of the flower extinguished. Suddenly, the tree creaked alive in protest. Its roots broke through the earth, like a nest of writhing snakes, and they hoisted the massive trunk several feet away from her. As the tree heaved back onto the ground, the vines tightened their coils around the trunk again, and all fell still. What a strange place, Lily said aloud. Just then, the stone at her neck began to gleam, flooding the clearing with red light. Hello, my love. Lily's eyes widened. An old woman in a knit shawl leaned against the displaced tree and smiled at her. Lily recognized her at once, and a flood of relief washed over her. Gran! Gran? Gran! I can't believe you're here. Is it really you? Yes, my love, I'm here. I'm so happy to see you. What are you doing here? Do you know how to get us out? Is Mom okay? The important thing is that we're together, my pet. Gran's eyes fell to the pendant, which still glowed with red fire. Oh, what a pretty necklace! Just a thing to cheer an old lady. Can I see it, my pet? Lily's smile faded. Impulse told her to run to Gran, to throw her arms around her and give her anything she wanted, but the odd tenor of Gran's voice froze Lily in her tracks. Gran's never called me pet before, Lily thought, and she knows the stone was Dad's. Why is she acting like she's never seen it? Without taking her eyes off Gran, Lily felt for the stone and lifted it for her grandmother to see. Come closer, child, Gran cooed. This old woman's eyes aren't what they used to be. Lily took a step nearer. How is Mom, Gran? Is Mom all right? She's wonderful, dear, just wonderful. Now come closer. Bring the stone to me. Wonderful. This is not right. How exactly did you get here, Gran? Enough with questions. Gran's voice sharpened, and her smile faded. She glowered at Lily, and a darkness Lily had never seen etched her face. Give me the stone, girl. Lily closed her fist over the pendant and took 2 steps backward. Maybe later, she said. Gran's eyes shone red and menacing, and she opened her mouth wide. Instead of the sweet voice that once sung nursery rhymes to Lily in preschool, a snarl bubbled out. In the next instant, the image of Gran swirled into cloud, just as the black tornado had done in the woods. The smoke churned, spurted, and spun, then dissipated. In the place of Gran, an ogre, with its foul mouth drooling, its gnawed fingers clutching a club with the girth of a tree trunk, materialized before her. Lily broke into a run, just as the ogre swung its massive club and smashed the walking tree in two.